my studio. I'm here today to bring you a behind the music for my upcoming EP called Bonsai. It will feature my original with next level remixes by Blue Dietrich, Domingo Loveclub, and ÜNAM featuring Happy Paul. This is here to help bring the vision forward in its totality. These remixes are continuations of an eternal wave that flows through us all, which my song, the original Bonsai, is here to bring to you. Bonsai is the Japanese art of creating incredible topiaries, shaped plants, with their amazing intricacy, design, and patience needed to cultivate and shape these beautiful, organic, living creations over time. There's a spiritual focus here on peace, patience, and vision to become one with nature through the process of creation of natural living art. This is very much the manifestation of Zen. While bonsai and Zen are known as traditional Japanese practices, they both date back actually to China in the Tang Dynasty in the 8th century. It is interesting to see how this vision and practice flowed through different lands and eras of history, and almost concurrently. Another aspect of my bonsai song, along with the art of bonsai, is the art of kintsugi. This is the art of restoration of broken pottery with golden filling to make it whole again and more priceless than ever imagined, because the brokenness was the key to true value. As a philosophy, kintsugi is similar to the Japanese philosophy of wabi-sabi, which is an embracing of the flawed or imperfect. Japanese aesthetics values marks of wear from the use of an object. This can be seen as a rationale for keeping an object around even after it is broken. It can be understood as a justification of kintsugi itself, highlighting cracks and repairs as events in the life of an object, rather than allowing its service to end at the time of its damage or breakage. Kintsugi can relate to the Japanese philosophy of mushin, no mind, which encompasses the concepts of non-attachment or detachment, acceptance of change and fate as aspects of human life. My song Bonsai will be a testimony of God's spiritual kintsugi of my soul, as a testimony to the transformation that I have experienced over the course of my life, from my trauma, my brokenness, and the flowering of a new age of my spirit and soul, and the unfolding and the manifestation of my true mystical self, and within and without in this world. I hope you enjoy. I hope you and the entire world enjoy this journey. This is the Mystical Vision. This is Bonsai. I'm Desert Raven, and welcome to this incredible song to be released on Autumn Equinox. Again, the release date will be Friday, the 20th of June, on all platforms. Okay. So I want to take you through stem by stem, sound by sound, in their individual aspect and their relationship to the rest of the song. So please get something nice to drink, a cup of coffee or tea, sit down on a comfortable couch or pillow or rug, anywhere where you're comfortable, or in nature if you're watching this out in nature. The first aspect I want to talk about, and I will isolate here, is the kick drum. The kick drum is, the pulse, the heartbeat of any song, especially in dance electronica. My kick is a multi-layered kick drum. It has a good attack, a crisp, singular rhythm and metronome type effect that many organic house songs have, but it also has a deeper sub frequency for the low end, the bass, and a very similar. It's a hybrid kick drum with aspects of what you would call a true house or organic house kick drum, but also has a psytrance, because as you know, psytrance is one of my foundational like formation and inspiration in dance and electronica, the Psy sound. So let me just isolate this track here. Okay, there you go. You can hear the slight little dirty clicky aspect of it, okay, but you hear that tail there, okay. It's a tight kick overall. It doesn't trail too much. It doesn't have like a lingering bass effect, because there's a lot of low end that I wanted to provide on a lot of the other percussion and synths and everything like that. I wanted to bring that out a little bit more, but I wanted something punchy. You can kind of hear it, right? The high clicky attack there is present. You know the timing. You know where it is. It's very present. But also it's got that power, the low end power. There is a weight to it, a thuddiness to it. Okay, and you can hear obviously some breaks here like this. Give the song a chance to breathe. There's like this is a breakdown here. You can hear the breakdown a little bit. You hear that? Okay, so and then if you see that, you can kind of see like a nice long bridge. Let me see if I can expand it. There you go. You can see kind of the areas of the song where I'm coming in good to mix well into a live DJ set, which is really important if you're doing it for the dance floor. But there's a lot of creative area and space here. I'm a big proponent of a nice, beautiful bridge, because that's where the energy and the power really elevates and really defines the song. I to me feel like the bridge is the metania, the transformation of the song, the real mystical power and energy, and the real manifestation of the song. I think it's even more important than the intro, the middle part, or the outro. All right, the outro is obviously very important to finish on a strong note, but I feel if you don't have a bridge, so I gave the song, took the kick out for a large, long bridge. Okay, so that's more elements about the bridge. Okay, let's see here. Let's go here, and then let's listen to some of the shakers here. I used a kind of like I think on this one, this was more of like a gourd, kind of African gourd type shaker. You can hear a little bit of a polyrhythm, like an accentuated ch, okay, and also you can hear like a nice continual rhythm there, and you can see that I had this throughout the whole entire song, right? It's definitely to create that movement, that underlying movement. Let's hear it in relation to the kick. It's a real chugging, like you can already see where I'm starting to move the groove. This alone was what I was focusing on in the very beginning. I wanted to keep my groovy style, ever present here. Okay, and then so what I did, I added another type of shaker. Okay. For a little bit of syncopation. Hear that? A little bit of extra life in that groove. A little bit more polyrhythms. Polyrhythms are really important. Okay, you can hear that. So isolated. Let's see, you can hear it here. It's a little bit. You can kind of hear that. It's not too forward in the sound. It's kind of a little bit in the back, but that's what adds those nuance and those little layers here. The next, of course, with any kind of house song, organic house, which this is categorized mainly, you're gonna need some hi-hats, with the 4 on the floor. Okay, so let's, kind of a tight hi-hat, not too high in the frequency range. It's got a little mid-range kind of stuff going on there, okay? And let's do it in relation to the kick. There's that housey boots and cats, or that whatever that sound is. Okay, and I hear it with the rest of it. So you gotta always be careful with the hi-hats and the shakers, right? Let's listen to the hi-hats and shakers isolated together. Similar space, right? I personally prefer shakers for a lot of the top end, the life of the top end and the groove and the rhythm, because I think the energy comes at. But the hi-hats are really important. See, listen to this. Listen to the shakers, hi-hats, and kick together, okay? So take out the hi-hats. Still something missing, something less accentuated, something less alive, right? It kind of plays off that two-step, when you have the hi-hats, it does a great two-step. 1 2 1 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3, and then all the the 8th and 16th and 32nd notes you get kind of from the shakers, right? All right, now let's get into let's go back to here. Let's get into the clap. Clap is really important to really establishing the groove. Ready? This is more like the kind of clap that I use more often than not is, believe it or not, I'm an organic guy, but it's more of a kind of a techno kind of sounding one. I don't have it too low. I don't have it too like mid-range. There's a little bit tighter, actually, excuse me, a little more open. You can kind of hear the tail on that. And a little bit more on the upper frequency here. But it's not too high, right? Let's hear that. With the polyrhythms going on right now, here's the kick. Okay? All right. So, when you start clapping with a song, you're really into it. When the crowd starts clapping, really good, okay? Okay, so this is pretty like standard for like a house, organic house, kind of a hybrid, organic and, it's a dance song, so this could be in any kind of house song, right? Okay, so now let's bring in some things that are more unique to the song. This is more bringing in ethnic, a traditional tribal type thing. This is a Japanese woodblock, okay? A real tight woodblock, okay? Not too high pitched, not too high in the frequency range, but high enough, Got some separation. Let's take that out. And it's mirroring both the Japanese elements to it, but it's also bringing in a little bit more of a disco rhythm. You kind of hear, right? There's more on the disco sound too, okay? So I wanted to bring a little bit of that disco grooviness in here. So that's the woodblock. Listen to it isolated. Right? Very old sound. We've been playing this since primordial, very ancient, prehistoric times, right? Very ancient sound, okay? This has been going on. 2 pieces of wood, 2 sticks, or a stick on a rock, right? Kind of hearing that, okay? Now, let's bring in another sound that's part of the kind of the disco. Now this I was originally working with a cowbell, which is always fun. Needs more cowbell, if you know, from Saturday Night Live, very 70s. But I kind of modified it to make a little bit more dreamy, bubbly, kind of like a little, different. The mystical, I wanted to blend things. So let's listen to what I call a bubble disco cowbell. I love to name my things here. Ready? So like I did some filtering. And you can kind of hear the sounds kind of warped a little bit. And it's moving side to side, right? Because it's moving around the sound field. Because if it were just mono, let's see if I can do it mono. You can hear it mono. Doesn't sound good there, right? With the wood block, right? But let's reset it. A lot more alive, and it lets the wood block stay a little bit more in the middle. But I haven't made the wood block right up the middle, okay? Because I need that space to be occupied by the kick and the sub bass. Okay, so let's hear it with the a little bit more central, right? Okay, so right, there's uses of the space better, right? With the kick, okay? Okay, let's bring in all the others. Here, let's go back here. Still, things seem to be in their own place, right? There's a harmony in all the sound field, right? The sonic positioning, you know, the sound field is balanced, right? Okay, there you go. Now let's start to bring in the snares. Now, snares have an interesting. The snares you can do a lot of things with snare drums, for build-ups, for swing, like a jazz style swing. And let's see what I did with my snares here. Ready? Let's go here. Let's see. Okay, you hear that? A little bit more up the middle. Okay, more of a powerful accentuation of the rhythm with the groove and syncopation. Ready? Okay, let's hear it again. You hear us a little bit higher and lower and higher. I didn't use just the same frequency. Okay, I actually tuned the snare drum. Okay, to the keys here in the scale of the song. Okay, so there's a little bit of life within the actual tuning of the snare drum. Ready? You hear that? Okay, now let's listen to the whole song here. So it's definitely like a marker. It's almost like a milestone or a waypoint in the song. You know what I'm saying? So like it does create more of the meter. You know, it accentuates the time signature of the song, right? So it's a great swing element. I definitely wanted it for swing. I wanted it for accentuation. It supports the accentuation of another sound, and also kind of blocks out, you know, different little measures of time, right? So let's listen to that. Okay, so let's go again. It's not too dominant, right? But it's definitely very present, right? So again, I had to find the right balance to make it not too heavy. The next aspect of the percussion, the taiko drum. Now this is definitively a Japanese. You know, you see the teams of the taiko. And there's other similar type of drums, and it's a ceremonial type drum for ritual events and ceremonies. Very royal, very of the emperor, you know, or the shogun, you know, very strong, very, you know, and it announces things, right? So you can hear the low end, but there's a little bit of, you know, you hear the extra tailing thing, so it does have the feel of a little bit of organicness, like it's actual people like shifting their sticks, you know, the drumsticks, you know, and maybe tapping the rim a little bit or the side of it. You hear that? The little tail, the little clickiness. So it wasn't just a pure drum head hit. Okay, I liked a little bit of dirtiness and organicness to it to give it a lot of life. Okay, let's hear this. Okay, there's a lot of different ways a lot of different groove elements here, right? And expressiveness. Okay. So you kind of hear where I use the taiko as a build-up, right? An actual build-up element. So increasing the energy, changing the energy. So there's a dynamic to the taiko, and it's that thunderous kind of feel, the earth, you know, and the sky speaking, right? Very divine, but powerful, heavy, very masculine sound. Okay, then you can obviously hear there's a lot of feminine sounds. Again, the yin and yang, the balance of soft and hard in the song. Okay, now let's let's hear the snares. Let's hear all the percussion. Okay, let me add this. Let's go all the percussion together. Okay. Let's go here. This little segment here. Got a groove going, right? Ooh, a lot of little separation, little part. It's so hard to get like all the little points in time filled perfectly, and not too much confusion or over mixing, you know, and too much confusion or too much cacophony, too much noise, right? You can kind of have things are a lot of life in this. You know, everything's kind of coming in at the right time, just the right time, not too long, to keep it moving and not oversaturating the sound. Okay, so there's your percussion. There's our percussion group, right? And okay, so here's the part where I use a snare. I want to a little bit more about the snare. Here's the build-up. Ready? This is for the drop. You hear that? Very familiar in dance music with the snare building up, right? Create that energy, that tension, please. Boom. Okay, got it? And, you know, always use the space. Like, you know, a lot of sound here. A lot of sound here. Let's listen to it. Let's get back into the mode here. Now we're going to get deeper, right? Okay, there you go. Good stuff. So this, you can imagine what's going to be filled in this space here after the drop. You can kind of see this, right? Kind of notice. Now, let's get into some of the noises, okay? So there's effects and noises that are not percussion, but they're kind of related in their kind of like position and the sonic field and purpose and intention and their sonic features. So let's go this here. Again, remember, okay, always remember that I've got a heavy Psy background, so you're going to hear those like psychedelic, trippy sounds too, and there's a little bit of a cosmic celestialness to it all. Here's one of the sweeps, okay? And again, since I'm a Psy guy, you hear a lot of like, you hear the side to side, you know, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, there's straightforward delay, and then there's ping pong. So Psy is a lot of ping pong type delay, okay? So you can hear that again. Let's hear it in this sweep. This one type of sweep. A little bit of granularity, you know, wobbliness in there, but nice and smooth, and there's that good, nice noise, that kind of scratchy kind of noise. Yeah, let's hear that with this part here. Let's see here. Let's hear that in place with it. All right. So we've really opened up something with that sweep. Now here's another sweep I added in a break. Ooh, a lot of like side wobble, you know, like a lot of squiggly, you know, crawling, you know, like just winding and twisting, really like, almost watery. Definitely psychedelic there, a wobbly kind of thing. Nice, right? Ooh, on the break, right? And here's another type of sweep. So I love sweeps. Here's another type of sweep here. Let's hear this. Ooh, a little bit spacey, you know, like an energetic, like, you know, really kind of like almost like a cymbal too, you know. Let's hear. Let's hear the different sweeps. Okay. That's almost like a rocket blasting off. That's a little psychedelic, trippy, windy. And then here is the almost like an opening up, like a, you know, like a widening of it. Here's another type of sweep. Here's another sweep. Ooh, that's like a burst of wind, you know, like a blow, you know, when you blow with your mouth. Let's hear that in the song. Let's hear two sweeps. And I use multiple sweeps in sequence with each other. Listen to this. Here's one in a nice deep break, but not the actual bridge. Let's see. Okay, moving energy around. Let's see here. Yeah, that's more of a stabbing kind of, you know, blow there. That's that type of sweep. Now here's another of the final noises, the effects. Some people call it effects. I just call it noises. Ooh, that's like a trilled kind of thing, and it's like a fading. You know, again, I like my ping pong. You hear the ping pong back and forth, side to side, to move it around to give it life in the sonic field, sound field. Okay, so let's hear some all together now with the groove here. So these are layers, and some of these things I added before, a lot of the melodic elements and the actual instrumentation and vocals. But I wanted to make sure that like these things were powering up the groove, you know, the energy and movement. So you know you can hear that. Let's see here, and I do a lot of like on this break. Here's this. Ooh. Sets up the break. You hear that? So and the break is accentuated with the taiko there. Okay, now let's get into some bass elements. Okay, here's more of a deep house style bass, and you hear it a lot in Latin. Let's see here. Okay, that nice stab, a tight stab too. A little bit of delay and echo and tail there, but it's still pretty stabby, and it's still pretty. It's tight, really present, you know, good attack on that. Okay, let's hear that. See how the bass starts to move along here. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. So it's you know, it's definitely, you know, it's tuned. It's got different going up and down on a scale. Not the same note every time. There's different ways to do that. Okay. Let's see how it makes sense with the sub groove, the sub bass groove. You hear that sub? It's a nice sidechain compression on. It's a nice deep one, nice slow. You hear this? You hear that? A pulsing, throbbing kind of, and I love that effect on the bass on the sub. Let's hear. See that? We're going up and down movement in the. Okay, let's hear this together. Now you're moving, right? You're moving and grooving. That bass, you can feel that, right? Feel it real good. Got a lot of good low end. The separation from the low end, that's the two basses are not taking up the same exact range. More attack on this like Latin style stab right here. Quick, more attack. Not taking up too much space, not really competing too much with the kick. Let's hear it with the kick here. Complementary, right? Let's hear it with the sub. So the sub is obviously sidechain compressed to give more space for the actual kick to come in, and the sub of the kick frequency. So there's that tailing sub is prolonging that low end, giving the like continuity of the low end, right? Okay, now let's get into something that's a little bit more. Now, like I said, my background is a lot sci, but I do have progressive in my background too. There's an organic, so like you call my sound a sci progressive organic prog sci, whatever you want to say. So let me introduce like a proggy progressive style bass stab, or it's more of a swell. Ooh, listen to that synth right there, that bass synth, that textured, granular, ooh, spacious, right? Really wide. Let's hear it again. Oof, it's really wide and like expansive. Good long tail. Let's hear it together. Yeah, baby. Let's hear it. Right. Let's hear it with just the kick. So it's sidechain compressed too, again, to give the breathing room to the kick, right? Okay. Now let's hear. Let's go here. Let's hear all of the percussion section here. I mean, when you get into the percussion, the bass, basically the rhythm section, the bass player and the drummer or percussionist in any band, they should be able to get you moving and happy with the overall. Like you could have no melodics, you could have no instrumentation outside of the bass and the percussion, sounds, effects, and the kick. You should be moving by this point. And I don't know, do you feel like you're moving? I'm feeling it. And then it's a deeper vibe too. You're moving and grooving, but it's like the deeper. And that's where I kind of come in with my mystical groove. A deeper groove, right? All right, let's start getting into some melodic elements, right? You hear that? You hear that? Okay, so there's that. Now let's hear some melodics here. Let's bring in the first of the strings, okay? So with Japanese traditional music, strings are a very important part, and there's multiple types of string instruments that you can use, and each of them has their own character. Yet there's a relation, there's also a uniqueness to it. Now what instrument is this? This is more of a bowed string instrument, okay? As opposed to a pluck. This is called the kokyu. Okay, let's listen to it isolated. Good. Okay, you got that ping pong delay, the reverb. So it's more of like it's kind of like a crying out, kind of almost like a sad and a kind of like when a child, but you can hear the vibrato. It's kind of like it's an emotional, sweet sadness, right? And it's really beautiful, really, it's very almost a sense of urgency to it or a passion to it. It's not deep and drifty, dreamy. It's more of a presence kind of. Let's see here. Let's see. Here, let's hear it again. Let's see this. Goes to the break here. Here, let's hear it in the... Okay, that's cool, right? Let's hear it. Very spiritual sound, right? The kokyu. Okay, now let's hear another. This is a very familiar. This is more of a harp-like plucked, strummy, plucky kind of instrument. It's called the koto. Okay, very familiar sound, especially when you talk about East Asian. There's similar sounds in Chinese. It's very Japanese. This instrument is called the koto, very proper Japanese. So there's more of a pluck. Okay, you heard the pluck out of it. Here's the strummed. You know what I'm saying? Strummed. Actually, it's more of a. It's kind of similar to a dulcimer hammer in some ways. It's a, or what do you call it? What is it in the Arabic and Greek? It's gosh. Not sitar. Oh gosh, it's anyway, it's oh gosh, it's totally okay. Anyway, so it's like Persian and this is a very world instrument too. Cimbalom or what's the other one in Persian? It's Persian string instrument. Let me just see it. Let me look it up real quick. Hold on a second here. Let's see, Persian stringed instruments. Let's see here. Santur. Okay, yeah, so Santur. And it's there's the Arabic versions of it too. Okay, so Santur, Cimbalom, or Koto. All these are, even the dulcimer hammer, very similar type instrument. You hear that? It does have a hammer, but you can pluck it and strum it too, okay? So it's a very elegant, very classy sound, very almost magical, but... Okay, so again, you have two strings. You have a pluck, strum, and then a bowed. Let's see here, go here. So more for the emotional passion for the kokyu, and more for the magical accents, you know, here and there with the. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, really nice. Different tonality there. Now let's go to our other. What's that sound in the background? Sounds deep, mystical in the background. What's emerging here? You want to hear it? This is another stringed instrument, and a very familiar one as well. It's coming. You know this sound. This is the shamisen. This is it's a plucked and strummed Japanese, kind of in the guitar family. It can be played as a bow, but primarily a plucked and strummed instrument. Very similar, the shamisen. Very pizzicato, right? Let's hear, maybe if we can hear all the sounds together in one place. Let's see. This is the koto. Okay, koto. You hear that? The koto and the shamisen. Very beautiful combination. And this is a part I like going into the bridge, the first part of the bridge. A phased, kind of trippy shamisen. Okay. Ooh, like a river here, flowing like a. The movement and the emotion are building, getting deeper and stronger. Okay. So here we go. Let's go here. Here, let's maybe here. How beautiful the sound, how beautiful the sound. Very deep. Let's hear it all together. Groove coming. Woo, can you feel it? That shaku, the shamisen really going off here for that really like that groove rhythm, very rhythmic here. Okay, now let's add another traditional Japanese element. Now we're getting into the woodwinds, which is a similar space as vocals. The shakuhachi, such a unique flute instrument, shaped out of an actual piece of wood, very, very ancient, very, very Japanese. Ooh. And I want to make sure I had the equalization and the multi-band compression capturing the essence and the real wind aspect. You hear that the breath in it too? Let's see here. Ooh, so much emotion, so much spiritual here. The shakuhachi really opens up the spirit world for us here. It's the voice of the soul. Here, let's hear it. You hear it, how it's in harmony with the strings. Ooh, like that, right? Can you feel the power of the celestial realm? Getting back into the groove, presence. So you can be expressive with the shakuhachi. It's not just deep and wide, and it can be more expressive in pizzicato too, like a good flute. Notice how all the woodwinds and strings, they're in and out. They're not constantly playing, other than when you can see that the shakuhachi, the shamisen is not everywhere. So I'm using the shamisen groove and rhythm to accentuate certain parts of the song and the energy of the song. So it's like waves, you know? So it's more watery here with the low pass filter on the shamisen. So it's in the background, more of a pad, a moving pad. And you're also like, what's going on the other side of the veil here, right? So, and it's not in the beginning. So it starts, so you see, everything has their place. Okay, now let's get into the synths. This is kind of a universal sound that's used in some deep house, psy. It's more of a stabby kind of ARP that I used. Okay, let's hear it with some of the proggy sounds. Okay, let's hear it with some of the. So this ARP is very rhythmic and groove oriented. Okay, and it's kind of a mid-low, definitely a mid. Okay. And I use this ARP here. You can hear different levels. A little quieter here. And this even, it builds here. Really quiet here and it builds. Okay, so there's different power for this ARP here. Okay, and these are Japanese scales here. Okay. Okay, now, so this is a pad that it's more of a tubey sounding thing, and it's also a voice sounding like a low. This is to mimic the drone of the monks in the hills in some monastery in Japan. Okay, these Zen Buddhist monks here, these male chorus and men just. Ooh. So that gives that energy. It's a living pad. It's not just a flat string type pad. It's a vocal type pad. Because this is a very spiritual song, and to be sung by the monks, a very monastic, monastery type, in the shrines, when you think about Japan. And it's undulating, it's up and down here. Let's hear it by itself again. You see how it like waves of the sea coming and going, right? And let's hear it. This is a sigh. This is kind of a prog sigh. It's kind of a pluck, but it's like a sustained pluck. I have a little bit of delay on it. But it's a very wide sound. It's not really needing any ping pong. Very cosmic, very proggy, but it also is shared with psy. So not just house here. This has got like a hybrid sound. So this is an underlying tone and meaning. Okay, right? It's almost like a conductor. This type of pluck is guiding the song along. Okay. This is an interesting pluck. It's a very oriental sounding, almost like a chime or a little hand chime. The way it has that high end, that kind of like metallic kind of sound. So I felt it has a kind of chimey. It's a beautiful little pluck, and it's a very, it's a little more like a stab, for accentuating. Okay, here you go. So very beautiful, right? Still got that good low end groove, but it's beautiful and mystical and cosmic and expansive, spacious, celestial, but yet earthy at the same time. Okay, let's hear another one. This is a more liquidy sigh kind of sound, and I wanted to bring this kind of like a synth pluck, stabby kind of thing, but a very cosmic. You can hear like a wobble in it too. And it almost sounds like birds too, and that's kind of what I was trying to get here in nature. Birds. Singing birds. Let's see where they come in. Let's see. Let's go here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Here's the real birds. Almost childlike too. Let's see. Let's hear this one. This is a very, very, this is a Chinese sound I brought in here. You like that? Very windy, blended, you know, trippy, and a very like, you know, that beautiful strum pluck here. It's almost like a string pluck. A real string. Yes, very like what do you call it? Melismatic, and it, you know, bends. There's a lot of bending to it. It's one of my favorite ones. I call it Cosmic China. Ooh, hear that? It's not too forward, but you can definitely hear it present. Okay, here's one. This is a fluttering kind of. Wait, let's see here. This is kind of like a. You like the textures on that? Yeah. So this is kind of another. It's kind of a stabby, but it's like a watery. It's not. It's like smooth, but also like a sharp at the same time. Yeah, it's great. I love this one. More on the sigh side here. Again, you can hear my proggy sigh sounds in this together, working together. I love this one. It's a Dark Room. Very trippy, very trippy. Add a lot of the trippiness to it. Okay, let's see here. It's a more lower register, mid-low. Very trippy to add to that, like psychedelic or mystical, otherworldly, visionary. And not too dominating, right? But just strong enough. Okay, let's hear a new one. This is a very fluttery sound. I love this one. Not too many people use it, but and it's a kind of like reverby, and it's definitely the spirit of reverb. almost like a little delicate flutter, and it's too accentuate. You can see here it's totally not in the whole song here. Look. Here, let's hear it again. Again, just all these little elements to give it depth and spirit. Fluttering bird-like sounds, you know, and that's a very big part of nature. You know, the Japanese are very tuned to birds, right? Birds singing. You can almost feel like the trees moving in the wind, the bonsai, wind blowing through the bonsai, you know, pine needles and branches. Okay, so have all these elements working together. Last but not least, the very, you know, binding, authentic aspect of this Japanese journey, this bonsai, is the soul of the people. I had male and female vocals. The female, different kinds. There's the talking, but it's very groove. Like the talking is fit to the groove. It's very, you know, groove oriented and on time. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely with the groove. The what do you call it? The intonation, the accentuation, you know, the everything is with the groove. Okay, ready? Okay, this is one of the favorite parts of the song here. It's not too forward, it's more back, but it's centered. So it's like, let's see. So I wanted it to feel like this talking female voice is from within your heart and behind you. Like the female in traditional cultures, the female would follow the man, the wife would follow the husband wherever they went, and supporting. Also, the wife is inside, the woman is inside the man's heart. So it's like the essence, the feminine, beautiful essence of that spirituality, and that, you know, and it's a very global thing too, very universal. It's very almost romantic, very beautiful. Like she's whispering words of love and encouragement to the man, or just to the child, a mother to a child too, right? So here is a thing that's like a schoolgirl kind of chorus, like it could be children in general, boys and girls. But I wanted the innocence and purity to come out here in this chorus. It's a female primary, but still. Like schoolgirl singing, but it could be children in general. But it's like a youthful, pure. You hear the chime too? This chime was actually added in with this stem here. Here you can hear. It's like they're singing like the school bell rings, or in the temple too. Okay, so here is, remember, I want you to, now let's go to the male part. So very beautiful, right? Very beautiful, pure, innocent, loving. This is another female singing. Okay, so the children, female singing. This is the male singing, or female singing. Yes, okay, you hear that? So there's female talking, children singing. and female singing. Now let's go to the monks and the males. The male aspect here is the samurai, the monk, very deep, powerful, very soulful, very powerful, mystical, very chanting oriented. Okay, let's hear this. Let's hear that other sound that was very where was that kind of this one right here, this pad. Where was this one here? Right here. Okay. Okay, right? That monk drone, monastic drone. And also very like moody, very like powerful, like almost war too. Like a warrior, a samurai spirit getting in touch. Now let's hear this, the monks chanting. Wait, let's go here. Okay, hear the monks. Okay. You can very many monks, right, in a big monastery, maybe almost in the mountains. Hear that? What power! Woo! I want you to hear this in the bridge. Let's hear the bridge, the whole bridge. Let's hear the whole bridge. Okay, ready? Again, the bridge is my vibe. This is where we enter the celestial realm, the mystical, cosmic, heavenly realm, a new dimension, spiritual dimension. We're opening up the soul, rising, going deep and then rising, transforming us once and for all. With the shakuhachi, you can hear the strings of the kokyu and the shamisen plucking away. Woo! Something's coming. I can feel it. But listen how quiet I get before the storm, you know, the quiet before the storm, before the eruption. Get that groove going with the choir, the children's choir. Here's another place. You hear the groove with that? And also listen to the groove with the female vocals coming in again. Woo! Power and depth. Very proud of this song. Let's hear the outro in its entirely and I'll let you go. Okay, let's hear the outro. This is the glorious revelation, the manifestation of the vision of Bonsai. When I bring the drop in, I didn't want to go all the way hard in. still power, but giving a little space to keep grooving, right? But we're going to start layering in more energy and more transformation in the outro. Listen. See? Shamisen coming back in. You have to treat a song like a symphony, an orchestral movement. Everything moving in harmony with each other, with creation, the universe, the earth, the spirit. This is Bonsai, the kintsugi of the soul, the beautiful golden restoration of the person, the whole person, mind, body, soul, and spirit. Well, I'm Desert Raven. Thank you for joining me for this incredible journey of the soul, this mystical vision in Bonsai. I hope you enjoy the actual song and can play it in your headphones, at home, in your car, on the dance floor, wherever you want it. I appreciate your support, and I support you. This is a gift of my heart and love and mystical generosity and mystical giving to you. Enjoy the journey.